Oh, you ever thought this will only take 5 minutes and then realize that you were comically wrong? Yeah, well, welcome to Parkinson's time. You see, my body and my brain have, well, let's just call it a miscommunication issue. My hands, they're on their own schedule. My fingers are boycotting. My legs, they're just here for emotional support. Suddenly, what should take 30 seconds has now become a full-body strategy session. Well, you know what? It doesn't matter how long it takes. Forward is forward, and we're still moving, so let's keep going. You got this.
Okay, so most people, they just tap on their phones and move on. Me, I try to open up one app and my phone opens up like 5. Trying to text, autocorrect turns, hey, how are you, into help, how are you? Swiping, hope you like random screenshots and accidental likes from 2013. And at this point, if I ever text you something really weird, just know that it was a team effort between me and my phone.
Falling asleep with Parkinson's, it's already a challenge. But then try to roll over, and suddenly you're in the middle of a full-scale military operation. You have to analyze the situation, trying to come up with the best strategy, then carefully shift your weight, slowly initiating the move, because too fast, the whole mission's compromised, and too slow, and you're never gonna make it. And when I finally make it to the other side, mission accomplished, job is done, the operation was a complete success. And then my bladder says, hey, since you're awake, let's go to the bathroom.
In a world where the ground feels shaky and memory is optional, 2 men will rise, armed with microphones, dry humor, and a suspicious number of pill bottles. They'll face tremors, stiffness, and the ultimate challenge, recording a podcast without forgetting what they were talking about. This is where Parkinson's gets real. This is Life in Motion, the Parkinson's podcast. Rated P for please take your meds first. Now, grab your earbuds, unless you forgot where you put them. Then just turn the volume up because today's episode is ready to go. Now, here are Bryce and Brian.
Well. Hey, everyone. Welcome back to Life in Motion, the Parkinson podcast. I'm Bryce, and I'm here with my buddy, Brian. Brian, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing fantastic today.
You look fantastic, man. You look like you're just ready and rocked for today.
It's a long weekend. We've got Canada's birthday. We've got the podcast coming up. Life doesn't get any better, pal.
I see you're wearing red. You're wearing the red for Canada's birthday, which is amazing. Holiday and for us out here, which is great. But you know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking you've primed yourself up for today, because today we're going to tackle something that every person with Parkinson's, feels, but often struggles to talk about, and that's fatigue. Right? The brain fog, the hit a wall moment, that sneaky burnout that sneaks up even after you've had a great day. And we're calling this episode Running on Empty. And we're diving into the real world energy saving strategies. How do you like that one? That was a mouthful, right? The real world energy saving strategies from both our experiences and from, things that we know. So I think it's going to be cool. I think it's going to be a great show.
Yeah, we need a little Jackson Brown, Running on Empty.
Ooh, can you sing it?
That's a classic 70s. Brian can't sing, but he loves music, loves it.
That sounds amazing. And so, I think what we'll do is we're going to and hey, guess what, Brian? Because I know you're on like this incredible winning streak, like you're streaking it in Shaky and Fakey. You're doing so well.
Yeah, wrong direction.
Right. And wait a minute. I got to stop before I rip you, Brian, because we're really early show. Man, you know what? I just want to say thank you. Just thank you for being here today. Everybody who's here in today and is taking part. And I see people, saying good morning in Minnesota hockey withdrawal. I hear you on that one. I hear that one, right? And good morning. And so good morning to everybody. And a huge thank you. We were talking backstage, and we hit 5,000 subscribers on YouTube yesterday. And it was, it's very humbling. It's just something that, you think back, I'm knocking stuff all over the place. I think back to even just telling them my story on YouTube and the way this has all come together. And it was just sort of compelled to do something different and tell a story. Even like with starting this podcast, I may have said this before, but I don't know if you're, new here or new with us. We were just talking one day on Zoom, right? Yeah, this is live. Actually, Deborah, is this the live thing? Yeah, this is the live thing, Deborah. Deborah's like, is this the live thing? Yeah, that's it. So this is live. We are live here this morning, and you might be, if you're listening in the replay, that's okay too. Just partake with us, ask us questions. We're going to play a game called Shaky Fakey, and you can get involved with that. We have a special guest here for Shaky Fakey. And as I was saying, Brian, you're on this incredible streak, which the expert generalist should be a little shocked by, but you know what? I'm so excited and I'm jumping all over the place, but that I wanted to come back. You and I were sitting here one day and we're having a video call, just chatting and talking about, maybe we should maybe think about doing something. And we got into this huge talk about Parkinson's, and it was so compelling. It was just sort of like, do you just want to go live, like just for fun, just to see what it's like? And we did, which ended up turning to be our first episode. And then we haven't stopped since. So thank you, Brian. Thank you for all you do. And thank you for letting me, go back and forth with you a little bit and kibitz. And it's been fun, but it's so humbling to know that people are resonating with what we're doing. And really, if you're new here, and good morning, Miss Lori, and good morning, everybody new to the channel. I love that. Look at this one. So I just, I'm going to screw this up, but Panic said, good morning, new to the channel. It's Bryce with a B, but that's okay. Got your inspirational video playing yesterday. Went for a big walk this morning. So that's amazing, right? Like just little things like that people can tweak and do it. And
it's nice to make a difference, right, buddy? Like we were just chatting, and now look at the lives that
that's what I mean.
We're helping out, right? Like
it's incredible.
Just a great legacy to create and leave behind when we're all said and done, right?
Whatever we can do, man. And you know what?
Yeah.
I don't know. For me, it's just fun. We got to get an hour to pick on you and have fun with it. So anyway, so we have a great show, and we have a great show. We have a great show over here today, but we have a really cool show, and let's get into that, and then we're going to get into some Shaky Fakey with our special guest, which is going to be a lot of fun, really. But let's talk about we kind of went over some maybe 10 tips, right? So 10 tips. So here's the thing, I say like this. Everything is just all we have. The only thing that we can control, and sometimes we can is time, right? And so my biggest thing that I try to do is the time that I do have, right? I try to I try to conserve my energy for when I need it, right? I don't want to just kind of blow it out in one thing. So one of my tips for fatigue is prioritizing with purpose, right? So I start each day by deciding what really needs to be done today, right? And what do I really want to do today, and what can wait, right? So I think of it like spending your energy currency, right, on what truly matters. So I'll think about today's show, for example. This is really important to me, and I really want to have my energy, and I want to be on game. I want to be ready to rock. I want to do my best. So when I get up in the morning, hey, my grass needs to be cut. My, I don't know, my garden needs to be gardened. I don't know. There's a lot of things I could do, but I have to really look at it and say, if I go do that right now, I'm not going to have the energy for the things I really like to do and what I think is important. So I'm really careful on where I spend my energy money, my energy currency. Does that make sense, Brian?
Totally. You need to containerize it almost, right? Like for me, it's taking what you just said and then planning ahead for that outcome. So, group similar tasks together. If you're going to be loading or unloading the dishwasher, well, could you be doing some food prep or cleaning some vegetables? Keep yourself in the kitchen for a little bit, and plan ahead for those things like that. And schedule demanding tasks when you're in an on environment. When you're at the peak or top crest of your medication taking effect, and if you're new to the Parkinson's world, you'll grow into getting a handle on that and understanding it. But prioritize with purpose, got it, and then next plan ahead, containerize it.
Yeah, that's good. That's an amazing tip. Now you went right into that. I didn't even know you were into tip. I was you were so smooth. I was he's telling a tip right now.
That's so true. My face these days. There's a goatee off. I'm just smoother and smoother.
I tell you, even I'm trying to make cartoons, but they all have a goatee, and I'm I can't keep up with your ever-changing styles, Brian. It's it's so wild. But that was really good, and that's the thing. it's funny because sometimes I can actually get irritated by that, because it's sort of, I thought I lived, foot loose and fancy free. And now I have to schedule and plan and think about everything, right? Not like, it's one thing that you have to think about, moving your arms. Like someone said yesterday, like, hey, when I, go out for that walk, but, swing those arms. And it's like, man, like that's stinks that we have to think of, think about swinging my arms, which was true. Actually, I thought about it afterwards. I'm like, yeah, I got to be really, I have to be really, what's the way I say this? I have to be really intentional. We have to be very intentional about the things that we do, right?
100%, right? Like if you're going to go run some errands, if you're going to take a library book back, which Lori asked me to do a couple of days ago, she said, do you mind running this book back to the library? I said, not at all. When I'm out, is there anything else that we need? Again, time to containerize, and if I'm going to go to the library, I can pop into the grocery store or whatever the case may be. But it's just doing that. So, this is, I think, there's some great information here. I actually had one of my mentees reach out, and I had a conversation with him one-on-one.
Mentee?
Around this topic.
Mentee? You have a mentee? That sounds really professional.
Yeah, I'm the mentor, and they're the mentee.
You're a mentor, and you have a mentee. And so, Brian, do you mentor him like on Parkinson stuff, or like how to dress, or how to shave?
No. It comes through a request that they can put in on the Parkinson's Canada website, and they can ask for. It's called peer-to-peer. They can have peer-to-peer support where it's one-on-one, and basically for 6 months we get together for a scheduled series of conversations, and it's just helping them with their comments, questions, concerns, and go from there. But that's what I wanted to become an expert generalist, is when I took the responsibility of being a mentor, I had to go learn a lot more. Yeah, absolutely.
When do you have time to be you, man? You got a lot on the go. That's amazing.
I'm retired, right? So I replaced my work hours with volunteer hours for Parkinson.
Yes, Canada. You're one of the lucky ones. You're one of the lucky ones. And there's a comment here from Winding Rainbows, right? Yes, it's so hard when you've been used to doing all the things all the time, and now people can't comprehend what it feels like, right? And that's one of those things you have to. And so, which amazing, you're walking right into what my next tip, and that was like you have to embrace those routines, right? So if we think about it, so I said you had to prioritize with purpose, right? And Brian's like, yeah, and to do that you have to plan ahead, and which is true. And then, man, we're just like layering on each other here, because the reality is you have to also embrace that you having predictable routines, right? It helps reduce decision fatigue. Fewer decisions equals mental clarity, right? So the less decisions you have to make. So and you have to embrace it. Like you can't do it begrudgingly, right? It doesn't work that way, or does it?
No, I don't think so. No, I don't think so.
No, and that was my biggest thing, is to actually embrace it, because you know what,
accept it.
And if my parents watch this, or my wife watches too, but they must think like I'm just like the most awful person to be in a relationship with, because I'm like a rebel by heart. Like it's like routine, screw routine. I don't need routine. I'm going to do what I want to do when I want to do it. And that was kind of me as a kid. It was like, no, I'm just going to do my thing. And now Parkinson's has forced me to step back and to, what's the way to say this? Step back and kind of, think about to be intentional with what I'm doing. And at the beginning, I didn't embrace it. Like I knew I had to do it, but I didn't, it was begrudgingly did it. Right. Does that make sense?
Yeah, you need to embrace it.
Embrace it? Is that what you just said? So you were thinking about that. You stalled for a second. I know your brain was going, and I'm like, he's thinking of something here. So isn't that interesting? So now you can actually add to the Bryceism book, right? Because you're now making up words for me, which is fantastic. Bryce, embrace it. Okay, embrace it. And that's just like I'm going to call, I'm calling brain fog Brian fog now, right? Like when I have, I've got that Brian fog again. That's what it is. So you know what we should, Brian, you know what I think we're going to do right now?
I think you were going to see if I can get out of this losing streak.
In what?
Shaky and Fakey.
It's time.
Get ready for the only game show where the stakes are low, but the side eyes are high. It's time for Shaky or Fakey. The game where one fact is true, one is totally made up, and Bryce and Brian pretend they studied. Will they nail the neuroscience or flunk the funk? Play along in the comments and see if you can beat the bros. Let the Shaky Showdown begin.
All right. How do you like that? With a little introduction. We're really cool. And we are
Shaky
pleased to bring
Showdown.
up a loyal. I'm just going to bring her Jane right up. There you go. And here's Jane. Jane. Hi, Jane. Welcome to the program.
Thanks. I'm glad to be here.
I am so excited you're here, Jane, because I often think that Brian, like, he brings on his son-in-law and he brings on his wife, and I think they have a pre-talk, like, let me win, and it hasn't been working for him. So Jane, you're from, just really quick, you're from you're from Cedar
Iowa.
Rapids. You're from Cedar
Right.
Falls. Cedar Rapids.
Cedar Rapids, Iowa.
Cedar Rapids, Iowa. I love that. I love it. Welcome to the program, Jane. And Jane, you're just a fantastic person. You're part of the inner circle. We've been our monthly call.
I think it might have been your first one on your.
I was okay. It's so funny you said that.
Yeah.
I was gonna kind of say that. I think you were Jane was the early adopter. She was the very first person that said, I'm in, and so so appreciative to her and everyone else. And so it's been kind of fun getting to know you. And I went into the inner circle. Was it yesterday or the other day? The day, because our contestant who wanted to play today. If that was you, by the way, the email went in wrong and we couldn't get a hold of you. So I went in and Jane's like, I'm in. And so Brian was super pumped because Brian, he's not competitive and he's
so laid back.
Yeah, he's so laid back. He's just Mr. Chill. Mr. Chill. So thank you, Jane, for joining us. And see, he's not even talking much right now, and he's got his pencil out, Jane. Like he's in full game mode now. He's just like, get to the questions, Bryce.
Pencil out too.
They say winning isn't everything, Bryce, but wanting to is. That's who I am.
Oh, I love it. Okay, well, if you're new to the broadcast, here's what we're going to do. We're going to play this game called Shaky or Fakey, and we want you to play along. So in the comments, just put a 1. Like there's 5 questions, so we put a 1 and either Shaky for true or Fakey for false. And so what I've done is I'm going to give 5 statements that are actually some of them are true statements that have been either DM'd to us or I've taken them out of the comments from all the videos on the channel, and some of them are made up. So it works like this. I'm gonna ask a question, and Brian and Jane are gonna decide whether that's true Shaky or false Fakey, and we'll see who's right. And if they say something is shaky when it's fakey, then I get the points now because I've made that up. Does that make sense? So I can beat you both if I tricked you. But because I'm such a nice person, and if you don't know this right now, I am probably one of the nicest people on the planet, and I feel so bad for Brian. Like, I know I bug him and I pick on him and I rip him, but I feel so bad because he's just been struggling. And so I decided, Jane, and I'm so glad you picked the right episode because I made them really easy today. So,
do you trust him, Brian? Do you think they're really easy?
Well, no, not at all. And I think Carmen probably wrote them, but that's a topic for another day. That's a topic for another day.
Okay, hotshot. All right, here we go. This is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna get into it. We're gonna do number 1. So again, in the comments, or you're playing along in the replay, just put 1 and then put Shaky or Fakey, and we'll just see how you do. And you kind of go, and we'll see how you do against Brian and Jane. So here's the first one. And remember, Shaky is a true statement, Fakey is a false statement. Here's number 1. I once taped a grabber tool to every door frame so I didn't have to carry it room to room. So they put a grabber, and sometimes if you're new to the program, I have to explain to Brian what everything means. So a grabber is one of those tools that you push together and you can pick something off the floor because you can't reach it, like behind your bed, you can grab it. So this person taped a grabber tool to every door frame so that I didn't have to carry it from room to room. So in other words, I guess they need a grabber in every room. They didn't want to carry it around. So they just stuck it, one in every room, basically. So now, is that statement Shaky or Fakey? We're gonna get Brian to write it down because the other thing, Jane, is we don't know if we trust him yet. Oh, you're writing it down too. Okay, so in the comments we've got a couple Shakies coming in. I can't figure out where my
camera is.
There you go. You got it. So Jane's in for Shaky. Jane's saying that's a true statement. Jane thinks that somebody taped a grabber tool in every door frame. So does Dolores. And so does Janine.
My husband, he would do that.
He would do that as well. So that's a common thing. Okay. Well, and you know what? And a lot of the people, look at that. A lot of the people in the comments are agreeing with you, Jane. So true. Shaky, Shaky, Shaky. Oh, there's Deborah. Deborah, we got one Fakey in there. Okay, Brian. Jane says it's Shaky. The people playing along, a lot of them think it's Shaky. There is a Fakey in there though, so we're going to turn it over to you, Brian. What do you think? Are you going to go along with Jane, or are you going to step out on the ledge?
No, I'm going to go with the majority on this one. I think that it's brilliant, and I think it's a Shaky.
Okay, there you go. So as I said, Jane, I wasn't lying. I made them really easy for Brian this week, and that's true. That's a true statement. So they did that. So they did that. They went, and the rest of the story goes. And again, if I picked one of your comments, feel free to claim it, and you can tell the rest of the story. The rest of the story is, I think they went into the dollar store and they ordered a case of them, and the dollar store couldn't understand what they were doing, and they ordered a whole case because they said it was just too hard to carry around. So that's true. So 1 for 1, we can confidently say 1 for 1, and most of the people in, except for Deborah Colley, I got you, Deborah. I got you on that one. All right. So here we go. Question number 2. Remember in the comments, Shaky for true, Fakey for false. Here we go. Question number 2 is, I wear my shoes in the shower so I don't have to bend over again. It's too hard to bend over, Parkinson's, to put them on. I wear my shoes in the shower so I don't have to bend over and put them on again. So we're going to let them percolate on that a little bit. I wear my shoes in the shower. Shaky is true. Fakey is false. And you can put a 2. So 2, we got a Fakey. So Deborah is going Fakey on that one again. She's 2 Fakeys. Janine's Fakey. Julia's Fakey. All right. Okay. All right. Where are we going, Jane? What, I missed that one. Sorry, I looked up.
Fakey.
You think that one's a Fakey one? Okay. So, Brian, is you going to go Shaky or Fakey?
No, I got to go with the majority again. I think it's Fakey. I don't think you'd want to wear wet shoes around.
Brian, I know you're gun shy. So, I know it's easy to jump on with the train, but yeah, you guys are 2 for 2. That was Fakey. I thought I'd have you guys on that one. Doesn't that make sense? I made that completely
up.
But
having wet shoes on, and it's like gross. I can't. Yeah.
I can see it happening, but why would you want to do that? Yeah.
Well, I don't know. It just seems like because they can't do it. So I don't know. Okay, you're all right. I mean, that was so bad that I think, no, I think everybody in the comments was Fakey as well. So I think I should get a boo on that one. Okay.
Oh, totally.
Okay, hot shots. Everybody's doing really well today. Here we go. 2 for 2. Everybody's 2 for 2, except for Deborah Colley. Sorry, Deborah. All right, here we go. Question number 3. I use a rolling office chair to cook dinner every day so I can get from the fridge to the stove easier. I use a rolling office chair to cook dinner every day so I can get from the fridge to the stove easier. Okay, this is number 3. So in the comments, number 3, and it's either Shaky or Fake. And you know what? That's so cool. They're just putting like S's and F's, which is so great. So we got a couple Shakies, and Jane is in for Shaky. So everybody's going Shaky. Everybody's going Shaky. And it looks like everybody's down the Shaky path, Brian. So now, are you just going to be a follower and go with everybody else, or are you going to step out on your own? What do you think there, Brian? So Jane's Shaky.
Be a follower if you follow a good leader, and the leader in this case is Shaky.
Okay, so you're saying Shaky. Okay, so everybody's saying Shaky. Oh my God, Jane's saying Shaky. Brian's saying Shaky. Oh,
Jane, I love Iowa.
You guys, do you really think that would be true? Do you really think someone would roll around in an office chair? I totally got you. I totally got you guys on that one. That was completely false. I made that up. Yes, for Bryce. 1. But I'll tell you, you know what? Everyone's going to try it now. That will get some things like, hey, there's this thing. So if you do want to give that a roll, then you can. That's called the Bryce cooking roll. So there we go. So we are 2 for 3. 2 for 3. I don't think there was. I do it all the time. Oh, look at that, Deborah. I do it all the time during canning season. Okay, well, I don't know. I don't know. It probably does happen. I made it up though. But anyway, so 2 for 3. Look at this. Look at Brian's face, Jane. He's forcing that.
I'm
smile
picturing the chair in my kitchen going around doing what I'm telling you. You know what? I should have got that one.
If you do that, Brian, you got to get like a special license plate on the back, like Anyway, here's number 4. Here we go. Number 4. I replace all buttons with Velcro to save energy in the mornings. I replace all my buttons with Velcro to save energy in the mornings. I replace all my buttons. This is question number 4. Question number 4: I replace all my buttons so that I can with Velcro so I can conserve energy. Jane, what are you thinking on that? Where's your process? Here we go. Shaky. So Jane's all in on Jane is all in on Shaky. So Brian, Jane's saying, and we got Shakey's. We got some fakies and some Shakies on this one. So Brian,
So
over to
so
you.
when I was doing some research on this topic,
Jane, when
that
he
we're
starts
discussing
explaining
today,
stuff, he means he doesn't know what he's not sure. Okay, go.
no, I'm 100% sure, because one of the things they mentioned um, in the topic that we're covering today is make it easier to fasten things. And the example they used was Velcro instead of shoelaces. So Velcro had me, and I'm saying it's Shaky.
Well, it's a good thing. So now, Jane, we found something else out there. Brian studies for these Shakies and Fakies. So he's got the upper edge. That was absolutely true. Totally shaky. And it does fit in, Brian. Exactly what we're talking about is to, figure out things that work for you. You know what I'd be worried about though? If I change my buttons, I just thought about this, and apparently I say buttons, really funny. Everybody always makes my buttons, but if I took my buttons off of my shirt and replaced them with Velcro, I would, from a male's perspective, I would be so scared of getting my hair caught all in that Velcro, and that would be an awful pain at the end of the day. I don't know.
It would go well with your clip-on ties.
Did you ever wear clip-on ties, Brian?
No, we could afford more than
that. You know, thank you for Brian's parents. So do you know what though? When I was getting married last year, I was like, I wanted to have this like really cool tie. So I was like all over the internet, and I was trying to find all these like, I don't know, just something different. I wanted to be different, and I ordered this tie off Amazon, and it was really cool. And when it came, it was a zip up one. You ever seen with a zipper up the tie? Like it was like for a little kid. It was like
back in the 80s. I had a leather tie that was a zipper, zipped up.
Yeah, it zipped right up the front. It was. I'm like, and Carmen's like, "You're not wearing a zip up tie on our wedding." I'm like, I wouldn't wear it. It was really weird, but anyway. So yeah, that's the only thing with Velcro. I think I'd have to shave my chest. Okay, so I think we're 4 for 5, are we not? Are we all 4 for 5? Look at this. This is 4. Coming down to it.
3 for 4.
Oh, 3 for 4. Sorry. Oh my God. Yes. Thank you very much.
You have to watch him, Jane, Bryce, on the easy math. He tends to make it complicated.
Okay. I'm not even going to get into. Okay. You're right. I need to have a scoreboard, like a scoreboard in front of me here. So we're 3 for 4, Jane and Brian. This is it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
This is. Jane, I really want you to think about this one, please, because you cannot allow this to happen. Because I've got him in such a good place. He's been like having 3 weeks off. So here we go. Question number 5. It all comes down to this. Is this statement true, Shaky, or false, Fakey? And here we go. I brush my teeth in bed with a spit pan so I can conserve my energy in the mornings. I brush my teeth in bed using a spit pan so I can conserve my energy in the mornings.
God, that could go either way.
That's a tough one. Question number 5. So we'll let people in the comments. 5. It's number 5. So brushing your teeth to conserve energy.
I'm a dental hygienist by
education,
and that just sounds gross to me. So.
Okay, and we're going Fakey. That would be not one of the recommended.
That would be just too much for me.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't see the benefit in brushing your teeth in bed. I don't think it's accomplishing what you would want to do. So I agree with my good friend Jane. It's Fakey.
Well, okay. So let's debate that a little bit. So if you. So you don't, but wouldn't it accomplish? Wouldn't it? Okay, it's totally Fakey. I made it up. I can't even describe why I did it. So you guys are totally right. Yeah, I was thinking. I was trying to come up with something, and I just thought, well, if you're, you have to get out of bed in the morning, and you got to go stand there, and you got to, and so wouldn't it be easier just to lie in bed and and just brush them somehow? Wouldn't that? No.
Well, you need to use a water pick. You need to use your floss. Like it's a whole process.
Yeah. He's right. And you got to do it all.
You only get one set of chiclets. Take care of them.
Okay. Well, I'm not happy right now, so I'm going to do something here.
I'm ecstatic, buddy. Just so you know, I am over
He's
the
gonna
moon.
make one up.
I am not happy.
Well, congratulations on 4 out of 5. I think that's very
We
stellar on
can
your
cry
part.
for you. We can cry for you, Bryce.
Okay, I'm going to give you guys another one because I'm just quickly scanning some comments here. Because here's the thing. I guess I was. Why am I so nice? Like I'm such a nice person that
Describe nice.
I just couldn't come in with like really hard ones. But then again, I didn't realize that I made them so easy. But
Well,
now
we
that
missed one.
yeah, you did miss one. That's true.
Yeah,
You're
we
right. The
missed
office
one.
rolling chair. That was good.
Yeah.
That was a good one. That was a good one.
All of them you could split down the middle and go either way. They're 55-45. Like
Yeah. So
they're
what
all
you're saying
tight.
then? What you're saying, Brian? It doesn't. You're just guessing away, and there's no skill. Like you just. It's not. You don't
No,
have.
because the Velcro one, I took some knowledge from my prepping for other stuff, right? So, and in some of the questions you've asked, I've seen webinars or listened to a podcast on it.
Yeah.
So, no,
Yeah.
no,
I overcompensated. That was the problem. I overcompensated. I went, from
you
two
overthought
to.
it.
I really did. I really did. And Jane, no, correct me if I'm wrong. You're an educator. Weren't you an educator as well?
Yeah, I was a clinical hygienist for about 25 years, and then I taught
my.
dental hygiene for about 10. And
Wow.
I taught in the clinic and then in the classroom as well.
No kidding. Okay, so would you say then, Jane, that as an educator, are you impressed that Brian studies for stuff like this?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
such a
In
good.
fact, I'm kind of like him in that the expert generalist. I do a lot of research and stuff, but I probably wouldn't say expert yet. I'm a gaining on that.
Well, I will
And
say this, that Brian.
the expert is a journey. It's not a destination because things are always changing. I'm starting to read up on stem cell now, and I'm taking on other things as I find more time to evolve.
Yeah. And there is new stuff out there all the time. If you're in a science field, you know that. When they give people crap on TV, like, well, you used to say this. Well, yeah, but there's new information. So
2 weeks ago, we were at a conference in Toronto, and one of the board members asked a question of 6 of us sitting around the table about a topic that I knew quite a bit about. I had tripped upon it. It was the beat band, Bryce.
Huh.
So that topic came up, and I'm fairly well versed in that one. And they gave him like a 5-10 minute update.
That's pretty cool.
Then he brought up another one, which was the sunflower.
I like that one. We shared that last week.
I just learned about the day before.
That was really cool.
And again, I spent 10 minutes explaining that one. So
do you think you over-explain them then, Brian?
Do
you think you over-explain things that takes you so long to explain them? Is that what you're saying?
No, he hadn't been exposed to it, and I had.
Oh, okay.
So I was able to take a plethora of information,
That's
put
good.
it into a grade 5 vocabulary, because that's about what I have, and then deliver it so everybody can understand it.
You were a straight A student, hey? In school?
No.
Come on, Brian. You were.
No, I don't lie. I wasn't.
You were highlighter. You had highlighters in your pocket. You had you were ripe for school, right?
No, I didn't have the pocket protector. I was
Okay.
a mix between David Cassidy and Sean Cassidy.
Yeah.
Okay, hot
That's
shot. Here we go.
engineers, and I know that from my husband. So pocket protector is a sign of an engineer. Yeah.
Okay, guys. Okay, I stalled long enough.
Okay.
You ready
You
for
did.
this? This is the winner take all. And in the comments, win. I don't care if you're 1 for 5 or you're 5 for 5. If you miss this one, you lost, right? And if you get this one, you won. But here we go. You tell me,
Right.
Shaky or Fakey. Here it is. This is where we go. I once dropped my meds in a public restroom. They rolled into the next stall. A total stranger picked them up. While I had to explain what each pill was for in details, and now we're Facebook friends. Whoa. You want me to do that again? Whoa, okay, Jane's already in. Okay, hold on, Jane. Let me switch. I got to switch screens. Okay, Jane is Shaky. Jane's saying that's true. So Jane is saying...
I can see that happening.
Yeah. Yes, I guess that you're absolutely right. I mean, you're absolutely right. We got a lot of Shakies in there. We got a lot of Shakies going now. But here's the twist. You can see it happening, but I don't know. Maybe they're not Facebook friends.
Well, that okay. You might get me on that one.
Throwing a little twist at the end there.
Yeah.
All right, big guy, Cappy Canada Day, rock and roll, Shaky or Fakey.
My take on this. My take
Oh,
on
no.
this is
Oh, no.
it was you that dropped the pills in the bathroom.
Me?
And it was you that had to get them back from the individual.
Yes,
But yeah,
okay.
I'm going Shaky on that. Absolutely.
Okay,
Shaky.
Okay, you're going Shaky. So here's the truth. If it was me, that probably would have happened, could have happened. But if I spilt my pills on the bathroom floor, I would not pick them up.
Oh, you don't clean it back to yourself?
I would pick them up and put them in the.
I would
true.
have
Yeah.
I would have picked them
That's
up and flushed
true.
them down the toilet.
Yes, I wouldn't be. I would have a. So, okay, here's the truth about Bryce. I get a little OCD. I don't like touching things, especially in bathrooms. I'm very nervous about stuff like that. So, yeah, that wouldn't be me. But, yeah, you both got it again. It was totally true. Totally true. Okay, well, that just stinks.
There you go, Jade.
Fantastic. Good job. Good
This is
job.
great.
Fantastic. You know what, guys? That was fantastic. You were both so good.
Yes.
That's it for this round of Shaky or Fakey, where the facts are fuzzy and the fun is fully intentional. Think you can do better? Sign up to be a guest and take on Bryce or Brian in a future showdown. Just follow the link in the description, and you might be the next contestant on Shaky or Fakey. Cue the awkward outro music.
My God, you guys were amazing. Wow. That was good. Jane, that was so much fun. Oh, look at this.
I had a good time.
Look at this one. She warned me she was going to do that. So, time for my
Take
meds.
your meds.
So she's like,
We'll
she's
get a
like the
drink
only.
while you take your meds.
She's like the only way I can get your attention is if I put it in the comments. Take your meds. So I'm going to take my meds. But anyway, that was fun, and that was great. But and Jane, do you mind staying with us a little bit? We're talking a little
No,
energy.
that's fine.
Oh my
I can
God!
do
Look what
that.
just happened.
Brian disappeared.
You know what? You know what I think happened, Jane? It's looks like, and thank God you're going to stay around because it would just be me again. But he likes to take off when people are here. I don't know what it is. I kind of wonder if it's like he's so happy right now. Here's the thing. He's so happy.
Because he won.
It was bothering him for the longest time. Like bothering him. And so he's back. I got him there, and we're going to bring him up back in a second. But we're going to call this the penalty box, Jane. So Brian is now in the penalty box because how dare him. But I think this is what happens. I think he's so excited that he's back on track. Like he's so excited that he can't contain himself so much, but he doesn't want to look like, that he wants to play Joe Cool on the show. Like, hey, it doesn't mean much, but so he has to leave for a minute and I think he runs around the kitchen a couple times and then comes back. So, anyway, let's see what happened here to our IT. There you go. What happened, mister? Where'd you go?
Why did you kick me out?
I didn't kick you out.
You put me in the hallway.
It's always my fault.
Against the wall.
It's always my fault. Oh my God, it's so funny. It's always my fault. Okay, so I'm going to take my pills here, my medication, and Brian, Jane's going to stay around with us for a little bit and have to talk about his energy. So we were talking just before Shaky or Fakey, we were talking about tips, right? Some different tips that we had. So can you share another one of your tips here while I take my medicine?
I will. Yeah, because it ties in nicely after what you had just shared prior to Shaky and Fakey around the embrace piece. So tip for me would be once you get rolling and you're doing the things that we've mentioned, don't forget to sit down. What I mean by that, take a break. Taking a break isn't a bad thing. Doing things like prepping meals and folding laundry, brushing your teeth, you can do that sitting down.
Or laying down. You can do it laying down now, apparently. Jane, right? You're the expert, but you can lay down and brush your teeth, apparently.
Well, you can, but
yeah, and so the other thing you can do is, sit to dress or cook. I have actually at the end of my bed a bench that I use, and it was after you did your Bryce, you did your video around fighting with the socks.
Oh yeah,
It is an Olympic event, absolutely. And you did have bacon and eggs on your socks. I get that. But
you remember that? I did. That's right.
Yeah,
I like
absolutely.
that.
And then, so I think if you're sitting down, if you can sit, right? Like I was told as a young man, if you're standing and you're tired, sit down. If you're sitting and you're tired, lie down.
Yeah. No time for heroes. So you don't have to be a hero.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
Like
Exactly. You know,
My grandma had, go ahead.
No, go
I didn't
ahead.
mean to cut you off. My grandma used to have one of those stools, that looks like a seat and then the steps come out.
yes, I know those exactly.
That's how she sat in the kitchen and cooked and baked.
No kidding.
As long as I can remember when she was alive. Yeah.
Yeah, you've got to.
I see those and I think grandma. Whenever I see one of those.
That's so cool. I love those memories too.
Grandma. Yeah.
I love those memories. So if you think about so good point. So I never and Brian, great tip, man, because I never thought about it. But when I think now, when I did that video and I actually showed my socks, I was sitting on a bench that's in my closet. So
There you go.
What we did when we renovated last year is we had this like little teeny bedroom that was close, like kind of attached to our bedroom, but a little like a baby bedroom.
Yeah.
And it wasn't really big enough to do anything with, but yet for future thinking, my wife was like, why don't we just turn that into a big closet with lots of space, right? And we can put a bench in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she really is. She's more brilliant than I am. She really is. And so now we have. So I actually was sitting on this. So I had to say that because it sounded like, well, Bryce has a bench in his closet, like a big deal. But we modded to do that, and so now I have this bench to sit down with. And you're right. And to Jane's point, with your grandmother doing things. I mean, you're doing things. They're smart, right? It's just smart to do it and conserve it. So that was a really cool tip. And I didn't even think that I was actually doing something without thinking. Like, I mean, I was doing it on purpose, but I wasn't doing it for that reason. I thought that'd be just nice to sit, that type of thing.
Yeah.
And kind of with that, the other one of my other tips too was just avoid rushing, right? Like rushing drains your battery faster than anything, right? It's okay to take your time, but Parkinson's is a marathon, not a sprint. But if we're just rushing all the time, I just feel like, and I talked about this when we were talking about traveling, and like I'm always that I want to arrive at the airport just in time, and I've been like that. I've traveled so much over the course of my career that I hate sitting around an airport. So I planned it out. So I like literally get there with 5 minutes left to drop my luggage, get through security, and walk straight onto the plane. Like that was kind of my goal. But what I realized looking back is I'm always rushing, and in that rushing, by the time I got to my seat, and it just was zapping me. It was completely zapping me. That was my tip.
I'm an early guy to the airport. Like I'll get there 3 hours in advance if I have to. But I'm sitting there. I've got a coffee and I'm chillaxing, and I watch. I people watch because I can tell who the people are that are the last minute ones, right? Because they're running.
You're watching me racing through the airport. Is what you're saying?
50-yard dash speed, right? You're not doing the 4 mile course. You're doing the 50-yard dash, jumping in, hurdling over suitcases, and it's crazy. And I'm like, just get up a half an hour earlier or an hour or whatever it is, and free yourself of that unwanted stress.
It's true. I hate it, but I do it.
I'm a terribly early person.
Yeah.
I try as I might. I'm still 10 minutes early. I just try to be on time, and I'm still 10 minutes early. But my dad was like, if you're not 10 minutes early, you're late. So that's the way I grew up. And I did too. It's hard to break that.
But so I'm a rebel. I'm a rebel, so I break it.
If you're late, in my opinion, and the opinion is of many others, if you're consistently late, I think you are being rude to your family, friends, whoever it might be, to the other party at the end of the day.
I don't disagree. I don't disaagree. And it's funny though.
You ready for this? My daughter-in-law was 45 minutes late to her wedding.
Is she still your daughter-in-law, Jane?
Well, they're in the process of not being.
See? Show up on time.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
Wow.
it was horrid, yeah.
Well, they were
always late.
Always late. And that's the thing I think. So And if you think about even these tips for how to conserve our energy, we're talking about plan ahead, structure your day. And I think, to be honest, I mean, if I look back, it was a lack of planning. So, you know, I mean, if I planned, hey, I packed my suitcase
100%.
a day before or whatever, we're here, I'd get up, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'll procrastinate, I'll leave that till tomorrow. And then it just piles up and piles up and piles up and you don't even realize it. And I think, but it's kind of like for me now, it's like the little boy that cried wolf, because if I was that way before, but now with this part, there's some days I'll be honest, there's some days that I'm late because of Parkinson's. In other words, I'm getting ready to come onto a meeting or I'm getting ready to come, let's say, do a podcast, and things aren't working, or I drop my, spill my pill. Like, whoops, gee whiz, I'm all knocking everything over here today. But there's things that for me that do that. But I think because I was kind of one of those last minute people, I haven't given myself that grace to do that. So, to me, that's crazy. But that's a legitimate tip. I think that's crazy. I mean, crazy. I think that's really good. It's really
when I was in business development sales, not managing accounts that you're nurturing, but you're trying to get new business. I had an unwritten rule that when I went to your reception area and asked for you, if you didn't come out in 15 minutes, I left.
Really?
I postured myself, right?
Yeah.
And I would leave my card saying, Bryce was supposed to meet with me at 10:30 this morning. It's now 10:45. I'm assuming Bryce has been pulled in the direction he wasn't anticipating. So if you wouldn't mind giving him my card and have him give me a call back, I wasn't following up. Because then if they do that, they're still interested and there's some meat on the hook, right?
Yeah, for sure. It totally makes sense.
And there was a manager that taught me that when I was young and green. And to this day, I still use that.
That's really cool.
One time I tried it with Lori when she was 15 minutes late.
Yeah.
I didn't do that one again.
I was going to say, you did that with your wife? You did that with your wife? Oh, Lori.
Yeah.
Holy moly.
That's taking it a little far, Brian.
Lori is the queen of functional. Absolutely.
Wow. I mean, I feel like the odd person out here, but no, I mean, it's good. I'm getting better. I'm getting better, but I think I'm getting better because I'm again being purposeful, right? And really thinking about things, and kind of like we're talking about. One of the things that I think is like super important, and it kind of, I'm just going to say it like this, and I'm probably stealing one that you're thinking, Brian, because I it's just resonating in my head right now, but it kind of goes back to what I said about that energy currency and spending it in the right place. But again, I'm focusing most of my time, or not most of my time, but I'm focusing again on maximizing my on times and minimizing my off times, right? And I'm diligently doing that. And so if I'm spending so much time trying to come up with the right amount of medication to take at the right time to stay on as good as I can for as long as I can, that on time is so important to me that I don't want to waste it. Right? I don't want to waste it on things that aren't important. I don't want to waste it on energy sucking things. Like, I'm trying to conserve. Like, think about what we're doing. Why are we trying to maximize our on times? And that's because we want to take advantage of those times. So why waste it on
Stuff
energy?
has to get done. Absolutely.
Do you understand what I mean? Like, so here's an example. I can cut my grass. So, I mean, I pay for it the next day. So and I don't know if you guys get this or not, but my hands, for example, like if I mow the lawn for like an hour today, I wake up tomorrow morning with my hands like this.
Wow.
They go right back. Like, so if I golf, my hands will. I wake up the next morning with my hands like this. That's just what happens to me. And so here's the thing. I'm spending so much time to get my meds proper so that I can have a good time, like I can be on. I don't want to be on to mow the grass. Okay. Like, that's not why I'm trying to, I'm not trying to have this great time so I can mow the grass. So guess what? If I can afford, I pay someone to mow the grass, pay them $10 to mow the grass, and I don't waste my on time with that. And then I don't have to worry about another hour tomorrow trying to get my hands unpeeled from that. So that's kind of my point. I mean, if there's things you can do to modify and take that off of you, right? So, if you can afford, let's say, if you could afford it and it works out or whatever, right. So like someone to clean your house, why do you want to spend so much, unless you love cleaning and love doing that stuff? Right. And I mean, I love the cut grass. Like, I love the smell of it. I love the look of it. I love a nice clean yard, but I can appreciate that and not have to be the one that did it, if that makes sense. And so, why? So you got to really look at and maximize those on times. And I don't know if that, like, does that make sense to either of you? Or is there something that that you've cut
No,
out of your life to keep? I don't
no,
know.
I think if you're able to cut some of those simple things out, it's you should do it, like cooking, cleaning, stuff like that. I'm lucky in that my husband doesn't mind doing all that stuff. In fact, sometimes I have to stop him to let me do things
Yes,
because he's
exactly.
overcompensating.
100%. Those caregivers, they go, I do the same
Yeah, he's
thing. I
pretty
have to say to
awesome.
Carmen, let me,
Lori,
like, this one's mine. Like, stop it.
Yeah,
Lori would be in the
I
same
can
boat.
do
Absolutely.
this. Well, my
Meanwhile,
Exactly.
I'm trying to prove that I can still do something. Right.
Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah.
we're opposite in a lot of things in life, Bryce, and that's why we get along so well. I like cutting the grass. I like trimming the grass. I like being the artiste of that.
Well, no, I liked it before, Brian. I did like it too.
And I love it when somebody walks down the sidewalk and goes, nice grass. And now that we're moving, almost every neighbor at some point in time has said to me,
so you like to be admired. What you're saying is you want them to walk in and you love to be admired. You want them to say, "Holy cow, that won the grass of the year," and you got the pin on that said, you won lawn of the neighborhood. That's what you're saying.
Absolutely. Yeah, if there's a scorecard, you want to come in first. Absolutely. Absolutely. I was going to argue, and I'm like, no, absolutely.
Yeah. And I love it too, Brian. I love to do it too. I really do. Like I am that
You're
person.
You're busy with work, and I get that. I'm retired. There's a difference there. I get it.
Yeah, our age. That's the difference.
Brian.
Right on.
Look at
Well,
these
you guys are
retirees.
babies compared to me, so I don't care.
Oh, come on now. Brian's old, Jane. Don't.
No, he's not. How old are you?
10 years.
Hey,
10
he
years
shaved
younger
it.
than Bryce.
He shaved that goatee just to look younger. Like he started seeing himself on camera, and he's like, I think he's got the miracle skin cream that he's using now. He is doing everything in his power.
I do all that, and the wrinkles come out anyway.
Excuse me. Here's a question in the comments. I'm gonna bring this up. So do you have any suggestions on restoring energy based on having to wake up every 3 hours during the night for medication? And the reason I'm going to bring that up is because Brian and I are completely opposite on this. And we're going to both, and Jane, I'm not sure where you land. I'll say mine. Okay. And you do, and I don't. And so that's why I'm going to bring it up. So here's the thing. Who could pronounce that name?
Good call.
Can you guys see that name on your screen?
Titanic
Hispanic. Oh, Titanic Hispanic. I got it. Okay. I was struggling. I was like Titan Ichichi spin. I couldn't get it. Okay. Titanic Hispanic.
Isn't there?
So here then, and it's a great question. So, and we can debate this all day long. So for me personally, I have so much trouble sleeping that if I'm asleep, there is nothing in me that I'm going to get up for. I mean, forget it. Like I want those 3 or 4 hours. So I was given an option for my movement disorder specialist. He's like, look at, if you wake up and you have to go to the restroom, or you wake up and something happens, take a pill. Like you can take them, like you should take them, because he wanted me to wake up, and I'm like, I'm not waking up. Like I need it badly. So I decided to not do that. Now my mornings are horrendously terrible because I've been going for whatever it is, 6, 7, 8 hours without any medication, right? So I wake up stiff as like the Tin Man. I'm stuck. I need everything to get going. Now I'm taking a extended release levodopa before I fall asleep. So literally what I do, it's sitting right on my nightstand, and I've been doing this for about maybe 2 months now, I think. And so I take my medication, and then I'm just about to, I can know I'm going to be drifting off. You get that feeling you're going to fall asleep, and I reach over and I take that extended release, or 2, depending on how long my medication, whatever, 1 or 2, and it seems to be working better for me. It seems
I do take one right before bed, but I don't have to get up and take them.
Okay, but Brian, you get up, you force yourself up with an alarm, right?
I don't use an alarm. I'm usually just awake, but I take 1 before bed, like Jane does, and then I back on to the routine of 3, and I take 3 at 2:30 in the morning and 3 at 5:30 in the morning, and then my day starts from there.
Do you ever sleep through that? Do you ever sleep through it? Like, do you ever? No. So you're just set. Your body, your body are set to it.
Yeah, it is. Like, as an example, this morning I went back to sleep sometime in the night, and I didn't wake up till 5:45. It's 15 minutes.
Yeah. No, that's cool.
Yeah, exactly.
like, I wonder though. I wonder. Have you ever thought about not like trying to? So because I know, and I'm not calling you out on this because you say it all the time that you're one of your biggest challenge. One things that bother is sleep, right? Like you're tired,
100%.
you wake up exhausted. So have you ever
Yes.
thought about trying something different, or is it just something that, like, I don't know. I'm really putting you on the spot with that question.
No,
Apologies.
you're not. No, please don't. So when I see my neurologist 2 or 3 times a year, just call it every 4 or 6 months, the first thing she does when I come to her office is she watches me walk to the room.
Oh, for sure.
To see what my stride is like.
Yeah.
And then she dives into, let's have a medication conversation. And I've got Lori there with me because she's my pill manager. And I haven't brought up the delayed stuff like you have. I probably will at my next session.
Why? Because it's not. Why? It's not a good tip. Like what's going on? Why wouldn't you bring it up?
No, I'm going to.
Oh, you're going. Okay, all right. I'll take I'll take my offense away.
I want to know.
Then ask about it, right?
No, that's great advice. Because I want to find out from her what she thinks of it. I'm just going to ask.
100%. That's what I did too, Brian. Someone mentioned. So I got that advice. Someone said to me they do, and I'm like, "What are you talking about?" Like, and here I've been 14 years of taking meds, right? And I'm like, and I'm always in there. Hey, what are probiotics? Where's the patch? What does this work? Like, I'm always asking questions. I'm always investigating, and all of a sudden, this person says, well, "Why don't you try this?" And I'm like, "What?" And so I went back to my neurologist at my next appointment, and I said, "Hey, can we try this?" And he's like, "Sure, give it a shot. Let's see what happens." Right. And so I think, I guess part of that too is don't be afraid to experiment with your, talk to your medical professional and together come up and say, "Hey, what do you think of this?" But don't be afraid to try something different. Right. So to the Titanic Hispanic, I mean, is there another way? Is there a better way? Is there something you can do differently? Because if you're obviously struggling with it, then at least try it, I guess. What do you have to lose?
Yeah.
That's
I think a lot of neurologists are willing to let you experiment with how you take them. I know mine is like, try whatever works. Like originally we were going to do the extended release morning and night. Well, in the morning, I really need that immediate release.
Yeah.
So I took that and then switched him. So now I do it every other. And, he's fine with that.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, and
I think sometimes they know it's a crapshoot. So just
yeah. Oh yeah. It's sort of like, it's kind of one of those things like we have Parkinson. Like, what do we like? Really? What do we have to lose? Like, in other words, give it a shot. If it works, it works. Like, I literally was it was so funny. I was when I was in Montreal a couple of weeks ago with this PDIQ, and I had this movement disorder specialist there, and someone in the Q&A on the cards, I was going through the cards to ask the next question. I'm like, oh, look at this, and it said. On it, this is a true story. It said, I've been watching a podcast lately where they talk about spraying magne on your feet, and I'm like, oh my god! And I'm in my head, I'm going, that's got to be me. Like that's because I was so heavy, and so I'm like, oh man, what do I do here? Do I read it? But I said, I'm like, hey, like in popular culture, people are watching different podcasts and listening to other people's, what's working for them. And I said, have you ever heard of people spray? And true story, I said, have you ever heard of people spraying this magnesium on their feet? And he goes, you know what? I've been hearing that a lot lately, and a lot of my patients have been asking about it. And he said, why not? What's the worst that's going to happen? You're going to so why not try things? Yeah, why not? And the other part of that too is emerging therapies like DBS and Vylev, right? Yeah, like you got Vylev.
I'm going through for the DBS now, right? So we'll see what that says.
And that could be a game changer for the people that get up in the middle of the night, because I think I was talking to a fellow the other day who was taking, I think it was like 14 yellows or 15 yellows a day, and now he's down after DBS, and it's after all the programming and stuff. He's down to I think he's one and a half a day or something.
What?
And now, 1.5 a day from 15 to 1.5. 22
a day.
Yeah. I'm looking at mine, and I was looking at it, and it was like, take 4 pills 3 times a day, approximately 7 to 8 doses. And I'm like, whoa. I mean, now I'm at like 30 pills, and that's a lot. But regardless, I think it's sort of to be open to it. I'm not saying to do crazy things, but why
No, I
not,
agree.
right? And here Dolores here
Absolutely.
she takes 3 after DBS. So again, and look at okay, I didn't even see this, but Titanic the
Hispanic.
whatever. Following up that question, doctor recommend I try a carbidopa pump. It's called Vylev. Yeah, so Vylev is a great option. And Vylev is a great option if you're struggling taking your oral doses. There's actually a video on the channel, and I think it's deep. Oh no, I didn't set it out. I'm going to do that. So I did this. I hosted a podcast or a webinar, and we were talking about DBS and Vylev, and I had 3 people that have gone through each experience, and I interviewed them and talked to them about what the good things, the bad things, what they liked, and the DBS one I put on the channel. I put DBS, but I'm going to bring the Vylev one up because it's becoming a big topic now. And so I talked to 3 people, and there was some people that had some issues with it, but loved it. Like, this is a bit of a pain, but I love it. Right, this is a bit of pain that I loved it. Yeah. And so to answer to answer the Vylev question, Titanic Hispanic, is that it just depends on your ability and how much you take. So for me personally, I take the amount of levodopa that I take doesn't lend me to be a good Vylev patient because I'd be changing my little pin pricks every 5 minutes. Like, I'm too quick. I would run through it too fast. So for me, it's not an option. DBS is an option for me, but not Vylev, which is pretty wild. Yeah, it is. But I mean, and I think that's like staying up, and that's why, back to what we were earlier talking about with Brian, you and Jane both about, studying and being on top and educating yourself and really taking the time to watch through it. So I think those are
a year ago, Vylev was still in the lab. Like, it was being entertained to be released. Yeah. I remember it because I jumped on top of it and I understood it. I brought it up with my neurologist. I test it in scenarios to have conversations, and I don't usually get disappointed. I might get stumped, but I don't get disappointed.
Oh, you get stumped and disappointed a lot on the show lately. You just walked right into that one. That's why I had to take that one. Oh no, Brian, do you have one? Do you have what?
If you're gonna come through my door like that, at least wipe your shoes on the welcome mat.
Hey, listen, I didn't come through the door. You left it wide open. I just stepped in. That's all I'm just saying. You had that door so wide. I just had to I couldn't miss it. How about Brian? Do you have one more tip here? Do you have one more tip?
I got a couple. I'll try to blend together. One is you need to stay on top of decluttering your space. I don't want to sound sexist, but for a guy, it could be his workshop, or it could be the garage, right? And then for women, you've got space that gets cluttered as well. But the thing is, and I got spidey senses up because I've got 4 grandchildren. So Landon's 11; he's pretty much self-contained. But I've got 3 toddlers that are anywhere from 18 months to 4, and it's 3 girls. So when they come over as a threesome, the floor is landmines everywhere, right? And then there's a gate at the stairs. So you not only know how to release the gate, you got to step over the gate. Don't trip over it, Brian. Because, falls and whatnot become more prevalent as you age yourself into this program. But yeah, I just declutter your space. It's difficult when there's grandkids over like that. I tend not to get up too often unless I have a specific intent to go to the kitchen for a water bottle, to the bathroom, to whatever, right? But yeah, just be sensitive to the space around you, I guess is what I would say. And then going back to the rest thing, time your rest. Don't wait until you're exhausted. So for me, when I cut the grass, trim the grass, and then blow all the excess grass away, it's probably an hour and a half in total for the property that I'm at today.
An hour and a half.
But I don't do it in an hour and a half.
Right.
I spread it out over a couple, 3 hours because I'm taking breaks. Right. Absolutely. So, it would be to do that. And then I just wrap up. The bow here for me is ask for help. Don't think you're asking for help.
That was my master tip.
Yeah. So I'll let you finish off with that.
No, go. No, you do it.
like don't be afraid to ask. Asking for help isn't failure. Asking for help is actually success. And I even did this when I was running inside sales organizations and having people that they were afraid that if they didn't know something, that they weren't good at their job. You're always learning. You're always learning. Like I would have 20-somethings or early 30-somethings come in and go, well, what can you learn from me? I said, I have 3 daughters younger than you, and I learn from them every day. So just come in with an open mind, a curious mind, and just, play safe. But let's not offend anybody here, and give them an open opportunity to bring things forward, whether good, bad, or different. If you got something you think isn't working, I'd appreciate it if you put some time and effort into what you think might help it before you bring it to me. Right?
Yeah, I think, yeah. So 100%. And I think that's that's one of the hardest things to do in my brain. And maybe it's just me, but asking for help. I mean, it's just,
no, it is, Bryce. It's not you.
But I'm telling you, you better get good at it now, because you're going to need more and more help as time goes on. So, but being able to ask for help and then not, just not feeling bad about it, like not, you know what I mean, like not feeling guilty about it. And there's a really thing. Right. Dolores says, when I feel the tears coming, I just let them flow. I give myself permission to cry. Why not?
Me too. Absolutely.
Well, speaking of that, because I was like, Jane, I was about to say, Brian just mentions his daughters, and it's the first time he's ever mentioned them on podcast without bawling. So I was like, that was really good. But I think but you gotta look at. I am probably one of the most, I call it vain. It's the wrong word, but I'm very, I'm very particular about things and what I look like and how, not what I look like, but I mean in public, like how I'm perceived, and as that kind of person. And I don't like asking for help because I don't want to look weak. I don't want to feel like that I'm needy. But
you're strong if you ask for help, because you're recognizing a weakness and doing something about it.
Exactly. Yes. And you're conserving your energy again on something that you can, like, it just makes it longer and better. Like look at the story you told the other day where the Charlie the chair dude lifted the Adirondack chairs up on your thing. Now, you might not have been asking for help, but he did that for you. But the end result was that maybe you could have got them up there on your own. Maybe you could have done it on your own. But you would have used up energy that maybe instead you and Lori could have stopped and had lunch and or something. You know what I mean? Yeah, spend your time, the time that you're good and the time you're doing things that are important and you love to do. And I think that's sort of where it is. But ask for help. It is the hardest thing.
And I'll leave it after this comment, Bryce. The neat thing about it is when you ask somebody for help, you are giving them an opportunity to shine, and everybody wants that opportunity. They want to help.
Here's kind of the opposite side of that, is that I have some friends that would give you the shirt off their back. They would do anything for you. You ask for help, they'd be right there. But when you want to help them, they refuse. And I've actually had a long discussion with my best friend, and I said, Trudy, you need to let people help. I wouldn't offer if I didn't mean it. Yeah. She goes, I said, you help me all the time. And I said, let me help. And she's
That's awesome.
Okay. That's just a coaching opportunity. You handled it perfect. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
There's A personalities out there. I'm not one. I don't need to. And so here's the thing. We've got this move coming up.
You're not one? Did you say you're not an A personality? Is that what you just said?
That's what he just said.
I'm not. I can if I have to be.
Might be borderline.
I can be anything. Depends who I'm dealing with. So we got this move coming up. And I actually said to Lori Saturday, I think it was, just a casual conversation. I'm like, so what do you see my role as being for the move? Because normally I would be right in there. I've let the A personalities.
Oh, I know your role. Yeah.
Pack the truck.
Yeah.
I'll be the Sherpa, but that's not my role now. I can't move stuff. I fall down and I break stuff and I hurt myself. I've been in 3 different moves for my daughters, and I fell and broke something and all of them. And I've already done that at this move. So I know that's not my role.
Yeah.
So, what is my role? And I'm good at it. I'll be the organizer. I know what's what, where, what's going where.
Oh yeah.
You'll be
telling them, put that
inventory.
there, put that there, put that there, put that there, right?
I'll say that needs to go on. They can decide what's next based on them packing the truck. Suitable to. Yeah,
and then you'll feel in control, and you'll feel like it's done the best. You're really quick. So
I will wear a bright orange vest. I'm going to have a nice.
Oh no, you're not.
Hard hat. Oh yeah.
No, you're not. I wish Lori would film stuff for me.
And a whistle.
Oh my.
Whistle just means you're in charge.
Oh my God, Brian.
Coach Brian.
Yeah, you know what? Bob Wilson said, "What's the best magnesium spray?" There's a link in the description below. I put them in all the descriptions of the stuff that I use. I don't know if it's the best. This is what I used. It was reasonably priced and whatever. So that's what I use. So I would recommend it because I use it. And it's in the description. And there was a comment here really quick. I wanted to, there's a couple comments really. This one, Brian, I see it for you, just diagnosed. We don't have a lot of time left, but just diagnosed and feel like between this and heart failure, I'm never going to feel good again. And so Lisa, Brian went through that exact same, he had some heart issues and this, so he's a living testament to what, that you can be happy and live and look so young when you get older.
I had a triple bypass at 46. It was 2007. I've since recovered from that. I did a ton of volunteer work for the Heart and Stroke Foundation here in Canada when I did that. I would recommend you go out to Amazon and look for my book. It's called From Survivor to Thriver.
Why don't we have a link in this? Okay, so don't go to Amazon. Give me we'll put it right at 5 minutes after the show's over. I should have that in always, and it fell off some reason. And as soon as you said that, it resonated. So Brian's going to send me we'll put it in the description right away. So 5 minutes after we watch, come back.
I'll get you that. So Lisa,
always be in the
I would grab that book because what I do is I write about my experience with heart disease, and I think it'll put your mind at ease. It's not a clinical story. It's a true story.
It's a Brian story.
Yeah, the Brian story about how I got through heart disease, and the ultimate goal was to walk my 3 daughters down the aisle on their wedding day. And in 2022, I accomplished that triple feat.
It's amazing. So yeah, we will we'll make sure that's in under the recommended list of everything that we use on a regular go. So make sure you do that. And then I saw this pop up here. So this is from Rick. So Rick says 10 days ago it was just diagnosed. Really enjoying your podcast. Everything you're talking about is new to me and basically unknown. And Rick, it's one of the weirdest things to say welcome to the club because it's a club that nobody wanted to join, but you're not alone. We're all in this together, and I think that thank you for being here. Thank you for finding us. And it's everything's unknown. I know we can all relate to that feeling where it's like, what the world, and what does this look like?
Yeah, those first few days when you're diagnosed are just devastating. But read. I tell people to read to where they're comfortable, because sometimes you get to the point where that's just too overwhelming. So read to there, take a break. And then as you understand more of it, then read more.
Yeah. And don't overwhelm yourself, right? Like take a little chunks.
Yeah, there's a book out there from Davis and Finney called Every Victory Counts. It's free. It's on their website. I would
Rick's in Canada. Rick's in Canada. Look, Rick's in Canada. So go to Parkinson Canada and get it because we have the Canadian edition.
Perfect. Yeah,
actually, Rick's by me. Rick's by me. Look, it's sitting on my side boat in the middle of Lake Winnipeg fishing, listening to you. Great to have support for. Great to have support for family. So, Rick, well, I'm from Winnipeg, so there you go. We're right around each other. So,
we need you to connect and follow up with us on that.
That's pretty awesome. Crazy.
Cool.
Anyway, so Rick, just know you're not alone. We've all gone there. We've all done it. And to Brian's point, Parkinson Canada, so Parkinson.ca, there's a book called Every Victory Counts, the Canadian edition, and it's like the Bible. And you can find a lot of information and information there. And there's also a toll-free phone number on that I actually run that team of people that will Monday to Friday will answer you any question you have. They'll send you out free resources. They'll send you books. They'll send you one-pagers. They'll connect you to things that you need to be connected to. So feel free to reach out to them as well. And I think that makes sense. And I think here's what I want to say this. The real takeaway is this from today. You don't have to do it all, right? You have to do what matters, and you have to conserve your strength for what really, really counts. And I think that is kind of a takeaway. Right? A takeaway from this whole thing. So if this episode helped you, please like and subscribe and hit the bell. And if you want to go even deeper, check out the Inner Circle, where you'll meet Jane. You can come and talk to Jane as well. And me and Brian, where it's kind of our private community where we go a little deeper. We can go deeper. You can talk to us, and we also have a monthly call. It's kind of like our support group. Jane, thank you so much for being here. You were an absolute treat and a pleasure.
Yeah. Well, it was a pleasure to be on. Thanks a lot for the opportunity.
Well, it really was. And thank you for jumping up and beating Brian today.
I didn't beat him. I tied him.
I know, but tie goes to the guest. Tie goes to the guest.
Okay, I like that.
All right.
So many things
I'm not going to like that.
So many things against me.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And if you want to be a guest on Shaky or Fakey in the next, if I don't, I'm going to double check that it's in there. There is a link, or there should be a link in the description. There will be a link in the description for you to go and let us know you want to be on the show. All right. And so, with that, we are live next Sunday at 12 p.m. Eastern. And until then, take care of yourself and keep your life in motion. And you guys have a wonderful week.
Be well, everyone.
You did it. You made it through another episode of Life in Motion. That's 20 to 30 minutes you could have spent folding laundry, Googling your symptoms, or rearranging the 14 pill bottles on your nightstand. Instead, you hung out with Bryce and Brian. That's friendship. Or questionable time management. Either way, we're grateful. Be sure to follow the show, leave a review, or just yell, "I have Parkinson's and I'm fabulous," into your backyard. We'll hear you. Probably. New episodes drop regularly, unless we both forget. Until next time, keep laughing, keep shaking things up. And if you find our train of thought, please return it.